Now I think this is about the fourth time that I've been to Carmanah. It's quite a drive. It's a good 90 kilometers from a small town called Lake Cowichan, which is kind of mid-island. That's 90 kilometers up logging road. Now, although it's logging road, generally speaking, it's pretty good. You could do it in a two-wheel drive, but it helps if you have a little bit of clearance, because some years it can get a little rough. Depends if they've graded the road or not. I really like it here because every time I come here, there's either nobody here or very few people here. I mean, this is today's Friday, so there might be a few more people tomorrow, but generally there's not that many people come out here. You know, like I said in my previous videos about photographing temperate rainforest or woodland, I just love that environment, although it's very hard to photograph. Some of these trees are massive. There's a couple of areas I'm going to go to. I have a specific photograph in mind. There's a grove of trees down here called the Stoltman Grove, and it consists of several really large Sitka spruce, and I'm hoping to get a bit of a panorama in there. I'll probably take some photographs of me in the photograph as well, just to give the trees a bit of scale, and a few without me in there. So anyway, that's the general plan. As far as weather goes, which is what I always seem to talk about in these vlogs, is the weather. Up until this point, it's been really hot and sunny, but today it's actually raining and cloudy. So for my purposes, photographing trees, it's not a bad way to go. It'd be nice if there was a bit of mist or something, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. Right, off I go. Right, I made it. This is the Stoltman Grove. Now Stoltman, or Randy Stoltman, was a conservationist and explorer back in the 80s, and I think he discovered this area in 88. It's not too bad with the trails here, but I would imagine when the trails weren't here, it was a bit of a bushwhack getting in here, because it's about 2 or 3 kilometers to get down here. It's just gorgeous in here. The trees are predominantly Sitka spruce, and some of these trees are, 250, almost 300 feet tall. Okay, I think I've come up with a composition that might work. I'm having a little bit of difficulty because there's a couple of spruce in the back that are just massive, but of course with a wide angle lens they look quite small in the background, and then with these very small trees in the very foreground, they're kind of merging with them, so it's hard to kind of separate the trees from one another. But I think I have a perspective that's going to work. We'll see. I'll try a couple of different versions and see what I can do. The polarizer definitely helps, gets rid of that glare on especially the sword ferns down here. So what I'm going to do is take a number of vertical compositions, and pan them right across, and then stitch them all together in Lightroom. I should have brought my other tripod. I have a leveling head on that. This is my smaller backpacking tripod, so it's a little harder to level out, but Lightroom and Photoshop do such a wonderful job with panos that leveling, I mean, it's important, but it doesn't seem to be as important as it used to be. Okay, now I don't make the greatest model, but since I'm on my own, I'm going to have to do put my cliche red jacket on. Contrasts nicely with the green. So what I'm going to do is put a self-timer on and then try and pose in the background there. Somehow, bugs are awful here. God. Right, 10-second timer, away we go. I always seem to have this vacant look in my face. Right, take a couple more like that, and hopefully we'll get one decent one out of that. Okay, I think this might be a pretty decent shot. I'm using the 14-24. I got the ferns kind of just to one side, and then there's a bit of a trail here, so I've got that kind of over to the right side leading into the trees. The only problem with the wide angle, of course, as soon as you start pointing down or up, then you start getting trees leaning in and out, so I'll probably have to straighten them up in Photoshop. So I'm at, let me see here, I'm at about 18 millimeters. 14 is just too wide, then the trees just start looking really small. So 18 millimeters, got the fern in the immediate foreground, and again this Sitka right here is the more dominant of the trees in the foreground. So let's see how that turns out.